Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I wanted to remind you, my sponsor Link2, they've just launched a streamlined onboarding process that takes just a few minutes, giving all investors instant access to invest on the platform. This is in the United States. Visit link2.com, linqto.com, or download the app. You can do it. I have the app myself. Now, I wanted to play this 1 minute and 33 seconds to remind you, but there's a reason for this. I want to remind you of who Elizabeth Warren is, remind you that this is the woman who has been running Operation Choke Point 2.0 to kill crypto in the United States. And then I'm going to play you a clip from last night's Democrat convention so that you completely understand what you're about to get. What you're going to get is the death of crypto if you elect these people. You cannot vote for Kamala Harris.
With Bitcoin, there's no thing that backs it up. And that's what makes it different. It's just belief. You and I assess. You assess the value is going to go down. I assess it's going to go up, and therefore I buy.
So it's more like this artwork.
No, because at the end of the day, I can hang that thing on my wall.
Right.
And I can enjoy it, or I can throw darts at it.
You could sell it for money.
Sure you can. I mean, there are features about it that are the same, but it's not the same. And look, one of the things we have to remember there are a lot of things that come within this crypto world. So, for example, we could be talking about, instead of Bitcoin, we could be talking about digital currency. Now, that's something very different.
I think that's different too. I buy that. I accept that.
That's right, because that's a government-backed electronic transfer, and it can be denominated.
In other words, she's completely okay with digital currency that the government controls and uses to control you. That's fine.
In dollars, it can be denominated in euros. It can be denominated in some new language that's made up. But that has something that backs it up. It has a government that says, if at the end of the day there's a run on this stuff, everybody wants theirs out, the United States government promises there will be something to back it up. And that's what banks are about. There'll be somebody there to back it up. But with Bitcoin, that's not the case. And then, of course, can we do one?
Okay. So remember what they're telling you out there. They're telling you, oh yeah, Kamala Harris is going to do a crypto reset. Well, to do a crypto reset, you have to repudiate everything that Elizabeth Warren stands for. Okay? Does this sound like a repudiation from last night's convention? Does that sound to you like a repudiation of Elizabeth Warren and Operation Choke Point 2.0 and everything she stands for? Hell no, it doesn't. These people, crypto reset is not happening. They are lying. And why wouldn't they lie? They've lied to you about Joe Biden's health. They've lied to you about inflation. They lied to you about the current job numbers. Why wouldn't they lie to you about how they're going to do a crypto reset and try to make things great? These people are liars. It's what they do. Ryan Selkis has it right. The DNC crowd's reaction shows you that the Warren metastatic cancer is not relegated to fringe of Massachusetts. Her flavor of socialism will engulf the party again in a Harris administration. Her staffers, her appointees, her policies, tech will suffer and crypto will die in the U.S. He is 1,000% right. Wanted to point out to you the SALT conference was held in Jackson Hole over the last few days. Look, our old buddy Jay Clayton was there with Chris Giancarlo and Heath Tarbert, who was from the CFTC. And I think, and now he's with Circle. Okay? So Jay Clayton is now going to crypto conferences. Look, from Fred Rispoli. Well, HODL Law lost in the Ninth Circuit today. Disappointing, but expected if you caught the oral argument, and thank you with my entire heart if you did. All we wanted was for the court to give us a chance to argue Ethereum is not a federal security. The Ninth Circuit upheld the district court that we did not have standing to sue the SEC for an answer to that question. So everyone knows, the SEC's current agency position is that it has not made a determination on whether Ether and Ethereum network is a security. Approval of Ethereum ETS does not change that. Please keep this in mind when you're evaluating the sincerity of that crypto reset we keep hearing about. Okay? It's the same stuff, folks. And this was from Elon Musk. Propaganda isn't just about creating fake news. It's also about hiding real news. You know, kind of the way CNBC never even whispered ETHgate. Kind of the way they hired Jay Clayton instead of asking him any questions about what went on with him and Bill Hinman at the SEC around Ethereum. It's propaganda. In the middle of all this propaganda, you have to go back many years to find people telling the truth about what's going on in the economy and the world.
Inflation is made in Washington because only Washington can create money. And any other attribution to other groups of inflation is wrong. Consumers don't produce it. Producers don't produce it. The trade unions don't produce it. Foreign sheiks don't produce it. Oil imports don't produce it. What produces it is too much government spending and too much government creation of money and nothing else. Inflation is...
There you go. Right over the target. Breaking: Russia to launch stablecoins linked to the Chinese yuan and BRICS currency and moves to ditch the US dollar for trade. Then this is from Ray Fuentes. Follow him at Ray_Fuentes1111. He was I think he's working with helping out with some video editing and works with the guys at Glint and Miles Franklin. Both of them are my sponsors, but those guys have started their own YouTube channel. Here it is right here. Let me hit the pause button here. Pause button. It's called The Resilient Compass. Go give them a subscribe. Here's a clip from their...
But when you start to look at what can states do versus what our federal government can do, when you start talking about the amount of debt that our government has right now, they can't go to a gold standard right now. They can't afford to, but states can.
With Senator Loomis from Wyoming, who got up and said, I'm going to write a bill, and here it is, and we're going to fund it by take a portion of the funds that we would get by revaluing the gold of the United States. And in essence, Janet Yellen could do that anytime she wants. She doesn't even need congressional approval. She just needs to tell Jerome, jack up the price.
You look at how empires come to an end. It isn't that they are attacked externally. It's a kind of they eat their own lunch. They turn in on themselves. And it's the US Fed that is the one that's been printing all this money. It's the government that's been weaponizing this currency one more time. I think, yes, there could be plans afoot to use this as an economic warfare technique. And there's lots of evidence to suggest that's the case.
That tsunami of inflation that would hit our shores would send interest rates parabolic to compensate for hyperinflation, which blows up stocks, bonds, real estate, the banks, and the insurance companies. Bang, that's a Klaus Schwab Great Reset right there. You don't have to do that if you just jack gold up. And it is the one asset that every central bank in the world probably wouldn't bitch about because they all own it. And so it would enhance all of their balance sheets as well.
They're right over the target. Check this out. eGrag Crypto. We hadn't heard from him in a while. What's next? I'm going to go down to the what's next part. We're expecting a breakout around $1.50 within the white triangle and $7.50 within the yellow triangle. Right now, XRP needs to smash through the genuine wake-up line, which is 64 cents, followed by retest. Short-term targets, $1.30, $1.50 before a retest of the triangle breakout. Then brace yourselves for pure fireworks. First major target, 161 at $6.40, fib 1.61 at $6.40. Ooh, I'd take $6.40. Do you know what would be said in the media if we busted through that all-time high? Woo! Be crazy. From Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that without being censored. I'm going to prepare for an era of shock events, is his warning. You know, the same guy who said that COVID presented a great opportunity. You know, that guy. What could go wrong? Now, California's advancing 0 down, no payment home loans for undocumented immigrants. Folks, these people are trying to destroy the United States of America. You can't even look at something like this without accepting that common sense fact. This is intentional destruction of the United States of America. There's not a question in my mind at this point. Now, in DAIXRP.com, here's what we're going to talk about. Does anybody remember the red truck guy? Well, now we know who the red truck guy is. There's also major people in the media are now saying it out loud that at a minimum, you know that thing that happened to X47, you know, the guy whose name we don't really say on the channel much, that attempted thing? Well, in the mainstream, they're openly talking about how in a worst case, at minimum, our government allowed it to happen intentionally. I'll show you. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Away we go.